6:30, it's a regular school board meeting here at the high school, middle school. Let's first rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first looking for a motion to approve the agenda for tonight.
So moved.
Second.
One change, I just want to know, under the finance committee, we do have to approve the warrants in addition to acting upon the audit. And I see no other changes. So all those in favor of approving the agenda with that modification, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next looking for a motion to approve the minutes from the March 27th meeting.
Moved. Second.
Any questions, corrections, or discussion on those meeting minutes?
Yes. Under other business, I had asked the question of the principals, if they had anything or what their plans were for the end of the year for their sixth graders. And each of them were gracious enough to give us 4 or 5 minutes of what their plans were. I think that should be reflected in the minutes.
Okay. You got that, Bonnie?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Any other corrections or discussion points from those minutes? All right, hearing nothing further, all those in favor of approving with that change, please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed?
Abstain.
Okay, one abstainment from Glenn. All right, public comment. We'll start here with our in-person audience. Is there anyone here from the public who has a comment? Please stand up and identify yourself.
My name is Tiana McCray, and for those that you don't know me, I've taught at Fairhaven Grade School for, it'll be 25 years this year, so I've been here for a while. And I truly felt that I needed to come here and speak a little bit about our school as a public person, and I have Patricia Roberts with me as well. I am a true believer that if you do not like where you work, you shouldn't be there, because it's 50% of your life. And I am blessed to have worked at Fairhaven Grade School for this 25 years. And I have to say that with the addition of Deb and Jen, these last couple years, it has been wonderful. And I cannot speak highly enough about how they run our school, how they put children first, even above staff. Because I can't tell you how many times I've gone in and said, okay, this is what I'd like to do. And the first response is, what's best for the children? No matter what, their first thought is children first, and what do they need? And then the staff and the community come next, and what do they need to support them? And I wanted to come today just to really support them and what they've done to us, for our community at our school. And I just appreciate everything that they've done.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Patricia Roberts, and I've been at the grade school about 20 years, and I hope they can hear me back there. So I'm going to just read what I wrote, because I tend to forget things. So dear Fairhaven Grade School principals, hard work may often go unnoticed, but these amazing leaders at the Fairhaven Grade School play a huge role in the success of our teachers, staff, and students. Having you as our school's principals for the past few years has been a true blessing. I have appreciated your tireless efforts improving the Fairhaven Grade School and the lives of our students. Your involvement in school-wide activities like Apple Fest and our special extracurricular events like our Apple Orchard trip has made not only school but our community a better place. Without your incredible compassion for our students, our community, faculty, and staff, our student would not be what it is today. Your vision, wisdom, and passion for Fairhaven Grade School is apparent every time you hold an assembly or speak to us as teachers. You do an incredible job of listening to any concerns of the staff You set high expectations for our students and educators to help us learn and succeed. Never forget how amazing you are and how much you make a difference you have made for the Fairhaven Grade School. I am proud to work with such wonderful leaders.
Nice.
Well, that's very kind. Thank you very much for those comments. You can sneak out, that's fine.
And I didn't think that. What a surprise. Thank you.
Are there any other public comments for anyone attending here in person? All right, turning to our virtual audience, is there anyone attending virtually who has a public comment? No comments noted. We'll next move on to correspondence. Nothing from me. Brooke, anything from you?
No.
No. Okay, now we have a student presentation. I'll hand it over to Ben for introductions.
So I have Ms. Clement here today, and we have sort of a 2-for-1. So we have 2 students who are working with Ms. Clement. This is Mia, this is Bua, and they're also 2 of our 3 exchange students this year. So we kind of get the best of both worlds, and they come to do a presentation that Jen, I'll kind of step aside and let you take over.
Okay, thanks. So Mia's in my baking class, and baking class is new this year, and we have been decorating cookies for the last week. So they're gonna decorate cookies. Boa's in food's class, so she's learning about eggs this week, and we've made a whole bunch of different things, but they're really great together. I have both of them in my inquiry, and that was a pretty good connection. So, go for it. You wanna show them how to decorate cookies?
Yeah, sure. So, do I just start?
Yep.
Yep. I'm gonna show you decorate that. So first, have our cookies, and then so what I usually do, I just go for the details. So here's our cookie, and this is the middle. I'll just fill it in. Okay, then I just go up to pink. We have to make sure just to mix it a little bit so the ingredients inside of it don't get separated and stuff. Yeah. Just like that. Make sure you press it that way, because once I press it this way and it just felt not great. So I'll try to show it. Try to be kind of quick so it doesn't get like wobbly, and then might go like this as well. Oops. And then you can fill those in, or you can just like go for the details, or do them really colorful, like I'm going to.
Okay.
Oops. And I messed this one up. All right. So then you can just fill them in with whatever color you want. And this is pretty much it. Yep. Do you have any questions? This is my like 3rd time doing it. This is my 1st time.
They are fantastic.
So we made a whole bunch of
Nice
cookies
job.
that will leave here. that the kids mostly made out both of those. Yeah, yeah. And that's about it. I put together a really quick, presentation. It's just 5 slides. I wanna kind of like thank everybody. Not every school has family consumer science. And I have a great passion for teaching kids life skills, and I think it's necessary. And I wanna thank you that we still have it. So I did put together, yeah. So, it's just 5 quick slides that I kind of threw together showing you what we've done over the years, over this year. Mia and who I threw their name on. I gave you credit. So, this is the classes we have this year. Over the course of the 6 years I've been here, we've had a couple other classes in there. The advanced baking class is new this year, and it's been really popular. I think we'll load on each of those. Adulting is another really popular class. I've got 23 in it right now, and it goes through basic personal finance.
For adults or kids?
Huh?
Yeah.
I was being
For the
facetious.
children, but I'm learning quite a bit some days. I told you this is quick. This is kind of some of the hands-on skills that I thought we could make. That was a piccata that we made in baking class last semester. So those obviously are good skills that we should all have. That was our cookie from last week. Oh, we made pickles in foods class because I got a whole bunch of cucumbers. So we taught them how to make pickles. They love them. We made soup, and I showed them how to use immersion blender. And then ethnic foods made pasta, fresh pasta. Wow. And then this was I talked about this while playing. The last semester, I came up with a connection with their age of concern, and my students did these little videos, and they were well received, I guess. We put QR codes on them. So that we- So we're gonna leave these, so you guys can have them. Hope you enjoy them.
Thank you. You're just talking
Who is gonna show off their little creation? You can lift it up and show.
Lift it up.
That's very true. No, it's
Very
good.
true.
There you go.
Oh, very
Where are you ladies from?
I'm from Thailand.
I'm from Kazakhstan. You from Kazakhstan?
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Just came from
That one's
travel.
wet, but there's no.
Ooh, nice.
That's
why they're dressed like that. Love it. Love it.
They had tracks today. Where they came.
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
you.
That was great. Thank you, we will.
Dandy, what if she was from Thailand, and where did the other one say she was from?
Kazakhstan, yeah.
Kazakhstan.
Long travel.
Casey, why don't you start the circle on those cookies?
Hermione, I'm looking at who's in the finance committee. Was he?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
Of course, they're our guests.
Look at that, Tim. Little did you know they'd make cookies for you.
And I actually didn't know.
Invite Jen more often to do a presentation.
All righty, so while we snack on the
Rob, who's the last
cookies,
time she
we'll
was here?
we'll keep things moving, going right into the Finance Committee, which met beforehand. Glenn was reelected as chair, so I'll turn it over to him for an update.
So, the first thing that we discussed at the Finance Committee was that there had been a site visit where potential bidders on the food service contract had come in. They had gone to look at all of the kitchens. As of right now, we had 4 different companies that showed up. And as time goes on, we will see who does actually submit a bid. And that will be down the road, and that will come back to this board for approval. the next thing was discussing the audit, and everybody should have received a copy of that. It was real short reading. And basically, we received the highest opinion in that audit, which is a great reflection on our business office. The auditors had no concerns. They found no deficiencies or weaknesses. And they basically stated that we are a low-risk auditee. So that is,
the soda water with.
that is good news. So unless there are any questions that people had while reading through that audit, at this point, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the audit as presented.
Second.
Any further questions or discussions?
And I just want to point out, it's not just the business office. I try to really emphasize, it's the central office and everybody who, everybody out in the school as well, all the work that they do. As I've said, we're constantly asking for things to be done in certain ways or asking for more information or more documentation. And I know, considering all the things that the schools have going on, it's not always easy. But the fact that everybody works hard and takes it seriously results in an audit without findings and concerns. So I want to make sure that everybody is recognized for their effort.
As I mentioned in the committee meeting, I think it's very impressive, the audit results that we've gotten. And the federal compliance rules are quite onerous, and yet we do comply with them. And when we accepted that ESSER money, that meant a lot of red tape and a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of paperwork, and Cheryl and her staff and the central office staff have been right on top of it. And as a new member, I'm very impressed.
Thank you, Kurt. Any other questions or comments? Hearing nothing further, all those in favor of accepting the results of the audit, which was an unqualified opinion, please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? All right, Glenn.
Okay, and then the last thing that we need to do in regards to the, well, actually, let me back up. We also kind of looked at where we're at right now with the budget that we're presently working under, projected revenues, and things are still a little early, but we definitely are. Things are looking well, and as time goes on, we'll have a better fix as to what the surplus is, which there should be a surplus, and we'll move from there. So with that being said, I would like to make a motion to pay bills in the amount of $4,425,549.69.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing nothing, all those in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
And anyone opposed?
Okay, I would like to make a motion to pay expenses for capital reserve of $13,811.40.
Second.
Any questions or discussion regarding capital reserve? Hearing nothing, all those in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to approve food service bills in the amount of $121,313.15.
Second.
Any questions or discussion on food service? Hearing nothing, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to pay grants in the amount of $67,365.39.
Second.
Any questions or discussion regarding grants? Hearing nothing, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to approve expenses under the high school student activity account in the amount of $10,420.44.
Second.
Questions or discussion on high school student activity? Hearing nothing, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And finally, I'd like to make a motion to approve elementary student activity expenses in the amount of $5,807.11.
Second.
Any questions on elementary student activity? Hearing nothing, all those in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks, Glenn. Is there anything further for Glenn or Cheryl, finance related? Okay. Very good. Central office report, that was included in our packet. Does anyone have any questions for our administrative team?
It says on your superintendent's report, Brooke, you had a great turnout for the committee. How many people were there for that?
Maybe 8 or 10. Oh,
I thought there were 7.
okay. Well,
Between 8, a little less than 8.
counting us.
There were 10.
What, the representative of the district?
The only two, we were missing Benson and West Haven,
Okay.
but otherwise we had members from every town. Yep.
Okay, nice, 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 nice.
And they all said they would bring a friend next time.
There you
So,
go. 14. All right,
yep.
excellent.
And I just want to echo something mentioned by Chris Benway regarding, you mentioned the first Wednesday of April is Support Staff Awareness Day.
Recognition Month for support staff, instructional assistants. So there were lots of nice activities that happened at various schools. There were breakfasts, there were lunches, there were cards that were given by students and acknowledgement to our support staff for all the work they do with their caring and commitment to our kids. So just wanted to give a shout out to all the support staff. We try to recognize everybody at Teacher Appreciation Day too, but this is a special day for just our support staff that's, recognized nationally the first Wednesday. So we wanted to honor them as well.
It's a good time to ratify a new contract for
It's
them.
a great time to ratify a new contract.
All right.
Absolutely.
That's coming up. All right, any other questions for the central office? All right. Thanks for putting that together, everyone. Moving on next to contracts and resignations. Julie, you're back.
Yeah.
You're my go-to. We
Yep.
had, looks like 5 contracts. We'll take a separate motion for that, and then 2 resignations.
Yep, so I'll do the contracts first. I make a motion to approve contracts for Suzanne Miller, middle school teacher. Is that specific to a subject, out of curiosity?
That's
Science?
gonna be middle school.
Oh, but
Sure,
sure,
it should be elementary.
elementary. So Suzanne Miller, elementary school teacher, $62,630. Rachel Jenks, elementary school teacher,
Yes.
$47,304. Bonnie Lenahan, assistant principal of student services, $113,703.04. 4 cents. Oh, all right, big spender. All right, Cheryl Sotelo, Director of Finance, $118,732.90, and Emily Sloat, elementary school teacher, $51,751. These are all to start July 1st for next year, correct? Okay.
Second.
Any questions or discussion on those contracts?
Where's the elementary school teachers going, just out of
So
curiosity?
Emily Sloat is Orwell, 3rd grade. Rachel Jenks and Suzanne Miller are going to Benson. So those positions there will be filled.
Excellent.
So in terms of new staff, I'm assuming one in Benson is replacing Jessica, is that correct? And one
Yep.
is the additional teacher that we budgeted for?
Correct.
All right, any other questions on these new contracts? Hearing nothing, all those in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
And anyone opposed? And now on to the resignations.
Okay, I make a motion to accept the resignations for Roxanne Green, interventionist, and Ashley Casey, nurse.
Second. Questions, discussion on the resignations? Hearing nothing, all those in favor of accepting those resignations, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. All right. Next is the aforementioned support staff master agreement, which we need to act on and ratify this evening. Is that correct, Brooke?
Correct.
So I will let you kind of lay the groundwork on that.
Yep, sure. Unless Glenn wants to as the
Go
chair.
ahead. I don't have the numbers in front of me, so I will let you do that.
Okay, so this agreement would encompass 3 years, so 2023 to 2026. Wages would be, and you should have all received this in an attachment, 10% in FY24, 6% new money in FY25, and 4.85% in FY26. There was also some sick leave changes and personal leave changes, not in additional days, but the language around those was rewritten, as well as vacation days. All that language was rewritten in this contract. Another one, night shift differential. So our custodians that solely work the night shift, whether it be their part-time or full-time, will receive $1 differential on their hourly rate. We have trouble finding people to fill those roles. Also, there was some changes in the number of holidays or what school year and calendar year employees receive for paid holidays. Every contract, we try to make it more consistent across the district so that everyone is getting the same holidays. Not quite there yet, but made some good movement in that direction. So there's additional paid holidays for calendar year would be the day before Thanksgiving, day after Christmas and President's Day, and school year employees will get Memorial Day as a paid holiday. And this will also, we had a lot of employees grandfathered under the merger that had like town meeting day and like, because we had all these different contracts pre-merger. And so all that grandfather language went away. The addition of long-term disability and life insurance, that won't start until FY25. There were some changes to the sick leave bank language, just to clarify that, to make it a little easier for everyone to manage who's involved in that. There was some new language around safe working environment, and that's the same language the teachers have in their contract. And then we also adjusted the sick leave language for new employees coming on board to make that more manageable, because we are onboarding, especially support staff employees, all year long. And right now, like it was like, I'm making this up, but like every 83 days you earn an additional like personal day. And because everyone had different onboarding dates, it was just really challenging to manage. And so we tried to streamline that language, not to give them more time, just to make it easier to implement. So those were the major changes.
Is there also not a side letter too?
Yes, sorry. Yes, there is a side letter we did with the union to increase support staff hourly wages by 50 cents starting April 1st. So that was outside of the support staff agreement.
So we'd be looking for a motion to ratify that master agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any further question or discussion on the support staff master agreement? Just want to thank the committee who spent the time coming out to meet and certainly the representation from the support staff themselves for taking the time to meet with us. It was a very cordial and productive process, so we're happy about that, and we're happy that we came to this agreement. If nothing further, all those in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
And anyone opposed? And just additionally, I want to add, this agreement with the support staff is a 3-year deal starting next year. The teachers are currently in the first year of a 3-year deal. We've reinvested in our administrative leadership team here at the central office and our principals. So I just want to thank the board for its support in investing in our people. The school is really only as good as the people we have working here. The board has made the commitment. We appreciate you guys all for being here. We want you to stay, and we just feel that Slate Valley is a good place to work. So tell your friends and let the word get out that come work for us. So thank you. All right, so we'll move on to number 11, which is the Parent-Family Engagement Policy Review. I'm not sure what this is.
That would be Casey.
Okay.
We need the last vote on.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I think I voted on the support staff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I had a follow-up comment.
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
Thanks for double checking me though. Appreciate that. It is.
You want that one on paper.
$1 the nighttime
Yeah.
He's working tonight. He or she.
Right.
All right, Casey, what you got for us?
Annually, we review the family parent engagement policy, and the last time there was a policy committee meeting, we didn't have a quorum. So we're bringing it here so that I can upload the fact that we have reviewed this as part of the grant requirements for the Consolidated Federal Programs grant. And so the policy, was that shared ahead of time, Brooke?
No.
Policy? No. Okay. So in terms of reviewing the policy, there are no changes that are being recommended to the existing policy. We have procedures that support this policy, and those do need to be updated. The goal of this policy, when we receive Title I money from the federal government, is that we make certain we talk to any stakeholder group that would like to talk with us about how it is we use those federal funds. And so in the policy, it identifies specific stakeholder groups such as families and parents. And so we talk about how we use the Title I monies, and we use those in our schools, primarily in our K-6 schools, to focus on academic achievement, because that's what the money is there for. So we hire interventionists across our K-6 schools. And then we also work with instructional coaches. We use some of this money and pool it in a different way, and it funds our instructional coaches, again, in our K-6 schools. So, don't know. So in lieu of a policy committee meeting where this would have been reviewed, it's here. I don't know, Brooke, if you want me to.
Do you need action to approve anything? Or this?
Action.
Just needs to be in the minutes that it was
Discussed.
discussed.
All right, are there any questions for Casey? All right, consider it discussed.
Thanks.
All right. All right, Patrick, you started the train here with all these field trip requests, so we've got a few of them to consider tonight. The seniors are going to Boston for the day. Looks like there's an art club that's looking to go to New York City to the Museum of Fine Arts. So those were all included. Those two were included in our packet. You needed us to approve those requests?
Yes.
Okay. So we can start with motions and then we can get into discussion.
Motion to approve the request for the class trips.
Can they be together?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so there's a motion to approve the field trip request from Christine. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion, questions on those field trip requests?
So I just have a little accounting question, kind of, sort of. So the seniors have, what, 100 kids in their class? Is that about their numbers?
50.
No, 100
Oh.
kids in their class, in their grade level.
Yeah, I think it's 90. Yeah.
But it says only about 50 are going. So,
They surveyed the kids as to who wanted to attend and who was not planning on going, and those are the numbers that they got back.
okay. I think they missed a lot of kids. So I'm just saying, because, yeah. So anyways, but then my next question would be, they have a lot of money. It's only costing $8,225. What happens to the remainder of the money when a class graduates?
They usually give a gift to the school.
Okay.
To the next
Typically.
class?
No.
No,
Buy a bench?
Yeah,
yeah, or like, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
They can, sometimes, some of them, if there's a little bit left over, they'll send it,
They'll
down
gift it
to
down.
a class.
Okay.
But that's usually kind of just the residual after
Yeah.
they do
Okay.
whatever it is their
Okay.
gift is.
But basically, the bottom line is to have zero
Yeah.
graduate.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
if they've graduated and there's still a balance, we start sort of hounding them. The advisor saying this has to be,
Utilized.
yeah,
Okay.
has to be closed out.
Right. Okay.
I was gonna add to that, there, in the past, and we're kind of looking at how we can expand on this. Sometimes they will move the funds into another activity account, like the Fran LaPlaca fund,
Yeah,
that just,
that's
that supports
true.
kids in other ways.
So like donate it towards kids in other ways.
Yeah, and then it
Yeah.
comes back out the other end supporting kids.
Right,
So,
instead of a bench. All right, awesome. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on those two field trips?
Well, the one going to New York City, they're asking for a bus. So, well, they don't say how much it is, but a Premier bus, they said it was about $1,000 more than it was before.
Oh, yeah.
So what's it gonna cost for our bus to go down?
I don't know. Ben,
Versus-
do you have that
I
information?
don't, but I could look into that and find out.
Well, the way that I'm wondering, and what the difference is between a Premier bus, it's a long ride on a school bus.
Mhm.
Leave at 6 a.m. and not get back till 11:30. And I'm just wondering,
I don't know if do they do those long?
New York, yeah.
Yeah.
They'll go to New York.
It depends on their radius. They won't go to Allentown.
Bobby
Pennsylvania,
Spalding in New York.
What?
The Bobby Spalding in New York.
he's
He knows what he's doing. Takes those corners in one-way streets. I'm like
Well, he's the
yelling at the
premier-
ladies,
he's the
get out of
premier
the way. And he's
Yeah.
I mean, I think the busing may be challenging in general
Mhm.
because we have not been able to run a lot of regular bus routes, even in the district on a normal school day. So
Have they,
especially with field trips at the end of the year, I think it's going to be challenging.
have they at all looked at like going to Poughkeepsie and taking the end of the Metro North for $11 a kid and like zooming right on in? Cause and Poughkeepsie's the end of your Metro line, so it's like $11 round trip. So if you can get them to Poughkeepsie without having to go all the way into the city, that's and it's a commuter, so it's like every 40 minutes, or every 20 minutes, there's a train, which is kind of nice. So they might want to investigate that, kind
That's
of
a
how to
good
get down
idea.
there.
I've done that.
Yeah.
I've done that too.
So, yeah, just a thought, if busing becomes more of a challenge.
So again, the board is giving permission to go. We're not approving any funding. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. They've got their own money. They'll figure that out.
Well, but it depends. If it's a class, like a class, the class of 2023, those trips and things are coming out of the classes fund. We also have, in your budget, you have transportation for field trips.
Right.
There are budget
But the
lines.
board
and
wouldn't
those-
be approving that. That's something that
It's already approved.
comes. I'm
part of the budget.
assuming.
But
that-
those are related, so those funds are for things like a class, something that's educationally related to something they're doing in a class. So
Okay.
depending on what the field trip is, it may come out of the classes funds or the transportation, and the cost may come out of the general fund.
But this is an art club, not an art class, right?
Then it would be out of the.
I mean, I don't know. I'm asking the
Right.
question. I'm
I'm
not
not looking at it.
So a lot
combination.
of the funding has come from the art club itself, who's fundraised over the years but haven't done trips
Gotcha.
through COVID. And so there's art club students going, but Ms. Partesi's also bringing students from art classes. So it's kind of a combination of.
Gotcha.
It has costs to be covered by art club, and then it has costs that we are asking for help with.
Which was the busing piece, right? The-
Yeah, bus travel expense.
Yeah.
And the assumption is when they come here, the principal has vetted those and has looked at those within their normal budget. So, I mean, you want to be approving
Yeah, we weren't-
anything
we weren't
extra.
looking at Premier busing, that wasn't the intent.
Okay. All right, so you guys are taking care of the busing. That's not, okay. Just because it said you're asking. for
Yeah,
help, I did.
yeah.
Like, okay.
Any further questions? All right, all those in favor of approving those 2 field trip requests, please say aye.
Aye.
And if anyone is opposed, say nay. And Patrick, if I can put you on the spot, I guess you've come back from your field trip in Boston. Everything went well? Good time?
It was excellent.
Good.
The kids were extremely well behaved, and they represented our school district in a very fine fashion.
Okay. And you got there and were able to fully participate in the STEM thing, which happened early in the morning?
Yes.
Good. Good.
It was awesome.
Good. It's nice that we can do field trips again after a couple of years away.
Well, I'm assuming it's, what's her name? Ms. Partesi, who did the paperwork for this, and I really appreciate the level of detail that she and I'm sure her group put into this so that we know exactly what's going on, their itinerary for the day and monies and whatnot. So that was a great job. Thank you.
All right, so now it's over to Chris Cole. We got to deal with some business regarding the contractor qualifications for the locker room rebuild, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So at the last meeting, a couple meetings ago, you authorized us to go back out to request qualifications from contractors that would be able to do the summer fall project for the renovation of the middle school classroom space and locker room space. So those were due Friday by 4. And fortunately, we were able to get 2 contractors that did submit to be approved by the school board for consideration. And if you approve them, these are the 2 bidders that will be allowed to bid on the projects. So today I reviewed them both with our architects, Black River Design, and they're all on the same page as I am. That
Thank you.
Given what they've presented in their qualification list, they're both qualified, and our recommendation would be for the board to approve them.
Who are they before we?
Oh, we put it in the packet. I know it was late, but they didn't come until Friday. Breadloaf Corp. And then BMS Construction.
And Breadloaf did the middle school, is that right?
Yeah, and so phase 4, both of these contractors did bid on the project, the middle school project, and they were within $5,000 of each other. So they're good companies, and their prices were right on target last time.
So I'll make a motion to accept the pre-qualifications of the 2
Second.
builders.
Okay, motion and a second. Is there any discussion? So Chris, is it now assumed that each of these companies will submit bids or not necessarily?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I would assume yes. And when we have that, our goal is to have bids back, I believe it's May 22nd. They would be part of the school board meeting to open the bids, and then we're working on some of the detail for the process, but hopefully we'll be able to open them on the 22nd and maybe further on in the agenda be able to approve them at the same meeting. If we can quickly act on what they propose.
And since these are both qualified contractors, we are obliged to accept the lowest bid within 1% or something like that.
So if it's within 1%, you could pick either one. If it's not within 1%, you have to go with the low bid.
Okay. All right, any further questions or discussion?
I got one.
Sure.
What if only one bid's on it?
That would be a decision of the board. You could accept if you want, or you could choose to start the process over. I mean, if we'd only got one bid, we'd want to probably maybe work with the estimator to see where we are with the bid, if it's close or not. Our goal would be to get 2 of them.
Yeah. And that's for work to start this summer after July 1st?
The schedule's tentatively from July to December, but we've got asbestos to abate in the whole area, so construction-wise, probably wouldn't start till mid-August anyways, August, somewhere in that time frame. And there's a lot of items that are long lead time. Like some of the stuff is 24, 30, 32 weeks lead times on some of the stuff. So it's gonna push well into the fall.
But school can safely take place while they're working in that area?
Yep.
And did either of them, or hopefully both of them, kind of give you the impression that they had enough staff to do this? Okay.
We had sent it to, well, we publicly advertised, and then we also followed up with the last list of contractors we used, and it was about 10 or 12. And many of them were very honest. We can't do it. We don't have the staff, or we can't do it. We've already have our schedule built for the summer and fall. So a lot of them are right up front with us.
Okay, anything else? All right, hearing nothing further, all those in favor of approving those 2 contractors and their submission of the qualifications, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, other business? Does anyone have any other business? Okay, we will have executive sessions tonight, but before we do that, looking ahead to the agenda for the next meeting on April 24th. I think Brooke had emailed me late this afternoon that we will have to have a discussion and perhaps take some action regarding project graduation.
Yep.
Are we late in reacting to that? I remember this being an issue last year too. Where
Yeah,
we wanted
well,
to
I think
take
we're,
it in-house or not, and I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything.
no, I mean, they're just asking for a donation right now.
Okay,
But typically they ask a little earlier, but
okay.
Since there's no binder that travels from class to class, there's no warning to when to do stuff.
I mean,
We hope
you
to
can,
rectify that.
you can act on it tonight under other business if you want to, but I didn't get it till this afternoon.
No, we can wait. That's fine.
Okay.
All right, anything else on the next agenda that's of
Hopefully
significance?
contracts for more teachers and staff.
Yeah.
But we do not have a lot of applicants.
So back to the whole take it into in-house project graduation. That's something we would have to put on the agenda, right? Nobody's asking.
Correct. It'd be something that Ben would probably bring forward and you would have to, I mean, there's pluses and minuses to it.
Right. Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, nobody's asking for it.
Not yet. No. There's been discussion, but nobody's made the formal request.
Okay.
I'm thinking of the gun raffle. Was that a year ago already? Wasn't there like a fundraiser
There
going
was one
on?
this year,
It was a thought.
too.
Okay, but that was related to this project graduation that the parents are putting on.
Yes.
And the idea of us taking it in-house to have more oversight over the funding sources for that.
Correct.
All right. And do I have to sign the support staff contracts?
Yep. Oh, not the the
contracts,
master agreement.
Are there going to be contracts forthcoming for each individual that I have to?
I just signed those.
You signed those?
Yep.
All right, so we will have executive session tonight. There are three again. One for legal matters. And who's staying for that one?
It'll just be me for all of them.
All right, so there's going to be an executive session for legal, student matter, and personnel, all with Brooke, the only attendee. There will be action on at least one of these. So I take a motion to go into executive session for legal matters.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.